what we've missed, or what we've always had, is always somebody telling us what we need to think, what we need to eat, what we need to do, what we need to read. There's always somebody telling us what is good for us. And the road that I think that we're going down is this road of sovereignty, which is nobody knows what's good for me better than me. Mm-hmm. I know. But to know what's good for us, we've got to have the tools. We do already know, really, in truth. If we're really honest, we know what's good for us. And we often do quite the opposite. Many people know that they shouldn't drink alcohol and they're still giving it welly. It's just, I'm talking about myself. Not now, but before. I knew it was bad for me, but I was still giving it legs, So I think it's this getting into your own sovereignty and taking responsibility for who you are, taking responsibility for your emotional status, your mental status. Do we look at something on a screen and feel shit, or do we say that's not not going in, that's not interesting for me because I don't want to change my state? I think our job is to keep ourselves physically as best we can, mentally as best we can, spiritually, everything, the whole lot. That's our responsibility. Nobody else's.
Something you just said there made me think about a topic that I think about quite a lot, which is we've been so the awakened ones, the ones that are looking for this information, right? They've been going down these rabbit holes, and we've got our favourite truthers or whatever you want to call them. There. And there's been this. Okay, let's take the EBS, right?
Yeah.
So there's been this thing that's been dangled in front of our
since the beginning. Yeah.
So, and a lot of people are getting to the point where I've absolutely had enough of this. It's a load of bollocks, and I'm not having any more. It's never going to happen. It's just a psyop. Okay. Now I completely get that. I think it's a psyop, but with a benevolent purpose. And this is my personal take. I'm massively optimistic. Like, really am super optimistic, because even though dates have come and gone, and these big name truthers have been saying these things, I think it's with a benevolent purpose, because I think we are the manifestors. And as people are coming online and looking, people need a bit of positivity. People need some optimism, because if you're going through this dark night of the soul, this revelation of, oh my goodness, there's these controllers that don't have our government. I think the first one is, our government doesn't have our best interests at heart. If you can get to that,
it's a biggie.
It's a biggie, and then a little bit of optimism. But don't worry, guys. There's something else going on, and there's going to be this thing called the EBS, and there's going to be tribunals and all that kind of stuff. I personally think it's coming still, but things have taken a long time, and we are the manifestors, and as long as enough people come to that realization, but that's my take on it. And I'm sort of maybe overly optimistic, because I've certainly been overly optimistic with regards to some dates and things in the past. But I wonder, what's your because I watch a lot of your videos, and it's we fell for that, didn't we? We kind of bought that one, and it's come and gone. So now it's just like, well, we wait and see. But are you holding out hope for? Are you considering it as a likelihood that some of these things are going to happen, or do you think? What's your take on it? Like the real, no, they've burned me too many times, or is it I still see it happening, but I won't hold my breath?
I think where I am is this. If we take a macro look at where we are, we're in this battle of evil against good against evil. Yeah. Quite who's in each camp is to be decided, and quite, what I do know is, regardless of what's going to play out, good will out. Good's going to win. And optimistic, I'm beyond optimistic. I just know good's going to win. It's like walk into a dark room, put the light on, the dark has to go. That's it. That's where we are. I don't think that mankind is going to be our saviour. I don't think... right. I mean, what I mean by that is somebody particular. Some group particular. I don't think... Do I think that if there are the baddies, there's got to be the goodies, surely. We live in this kind of binary world where there's one and the other. So I don't doubt that this stuff, and I don't doubt that they've got hours and hours of footage that they would love to show us. And I think all of that's there, but that's only a small part. I think it isn't the answer. It isn't the answer that, an EBS being shown, right, that's going to do a lot of stuff, but it won't be the answer to what we want. What the answer is, the journey is wake up to the world. Second step, wake up to yourself. And that's the biggest journey that we've got. The waking up bit is easy. It was easy. Once you woke up, it was easy, wasn't it? Like, so that was done by inside job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then therefore they are not to be trusted. And that's the easy bit. The hard bit is, what about me? So I think if they come along and they do that, if Mr. T comes along and fixes a load of stuff, fucking fantastic. I'm over the moon. And I wouldn't never deny it, because I've said stuff's going to happen and it hasn't happened. And I've said stuff wasn't going to happen and it happened. So my judgment is no good. So what I'm happy to do is to remain optimistic, and I know in the long term it's all going to work out anyway. So I don't mind what the route is. I'm happy.
When the good so now I've seen some clips of Donald Trump with some quotes of him talking in some of the recent rallies that he's been doing, and things that are saying like, we can fix this country, we can fix it fast, we can fix it very fast.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's been quite clear that there's been the need to avoid civil war. Mm-hmm. That's been because I do keep on top of what I think is the geopolitical nuances that are going along with the narratives, and some people that I've spoken to, they're like, yeah, this has been a real concern about just letting or just putting out information, because you can cause the cognitive dissonance, which I'm sure you know lots about from your field, and it won't do what it needs to do.
This is what you said when you said before, when Mr. T lost the election, if he'd won and everything had changed and the EBS came out and all of that, we would have been standing hacky, as we say in the Northeast.
Right.
That was what you were saying, which I thought was really powerful.
Yeah, just it almost to sort of say it needed to be this way, as much as it's been a painfully slow procedure. Like I was telling everyone, no, you've got to put a bet on Donald Trump. He's going to win. It's going to be there's going to be fraud. They're going to prove it, and then it went through all these different stages, and then it still got signed off, and it was just like, oh, what now? And it was just there's this painful process of so like America's had to feel this pain. We've all had to feel this pain, but like America, particularly in a political arena, there's a lot of discord, which is helping this process of waking up. We talk about it a lot. But yeah, I just think, well, it wouldn't have worked if, let's say, my bet would have won. I would have had however many thousands, and some of these other, the financial tip-offs that we're hearing about. Oh, that this crypto's gone up, and this, and the world's still a big mess.
Sure.
So that, although it would have been nice, it wouldn't have fixed the world. And fixing the world is such a huge thing. But this process, this slow process, which is painful for the people that have been well aware of things 3 years before they're coming out into the narrative. But if they were to come out into the narrative before, they would have either just caused maybe revolts at some point, or just that's too crazy for us to internalize, so we just reject it.
Sure, yeah. We were talking earlier about how much information do you give? When you're talking to somebody who maybe's on the verge of, not quite, but nearly there, and words like loosh and interdimensional and beings of light and souls and God, we kind of keep that to ourselves, and we talk about money and power, follow the money, all of that, which works. But whilst you've been here, I've been very aware of your references to God, to higher power. Has that changed over the years for you?
you.